It's being, and the meeting is being recorded. March 11th, 5:05. We'll open the meeting, call the meeting to order. We will call the roll. James Darm Jr.
Present. Present.
Hey, James. Hey, my friend. Look at
How
you.
you
Like
doing?
that cut, man. Like that cut. Like that cut. I can't do it. My head is square. It only works. It only works with round-headed people. It doesn't work with square. Hillary Stuckey.
Here.
Happy belated birthday, Pam
No.
Walker. Pam Walker's next. Happy belated birthday.
Oh, here.
Secretary Walker. You still celebrating the birthday?
Oh, yeah. I want to milk it all month.
Happy
whole
birthday,
month.
and I like your haircut.
Thank you, Hillary.
go.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Tom
Mine-
Lawson
Present.
or Neitha Lewis Walls?
Now she was on earlier.
I know I saw.
She's there. She's just muted.
Okay. Oh, bless her heart. As my grandmother would say, bless her heart. All right. I know Pam's going to text her and say, Ornitha, please come off of mute. All right. So we do have a quorum. Woohoo! We were anyway. Approval of the January 29th minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All right. It's been moved by Tom. Is there a seconder? Seconded by.
Oh, I'll second it.
Seconded by Pam. All in favor of the motion to approve the minutes of January 29th, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Yeah, I don't think we don't need a roll call, do we, Barb?
No.
Good. We need a motion to approve February 12th, 2024. Is there a mover?
I move the motion. Okay.
I'll second.
I'll second it.
Y'all, okay, we're gonna have Pam making the motion and Tom seconding, if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's been probably moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion has it. We have approved our minutes for the 29th of January and the 12th of February. I should have asked a motion to approve the agenda. I'm a little bit slow today. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
It's been moved by James and seconded by,
I'll second it.
amen, seconded by Tom. You heard the motion. You ready for the vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right. So we've done all of that. Good. Gets all the way down to my report. I am going to ask us to table for the next meeting under chairperson's report A, nominations and elections of vice chair. I know that we did discuss this, but there's some information that has come to my attention, and it would prohibit a motion, a nomination to be made. And so we want to give ourselves some time to see if there are going to be any new appointees to the board. I've reached out to Nicole Barton's office and asked them to give us an update on anyone who has applied to serve on this board and what their status is. And I've also asked them to give an update on reinstatements, which I thought we were going to do today, but we're not going to have that information. And so because those things are in limbo, it would not be prudent for us to receive any nominations for vice chair at this time unless the board sees differently. So if there are no objections to tabling that to the next meeting, I don't think we need a motion to do that. If there are no objections. Excellent. Seeing that there are no objections, we will table that to the next meeting. B, update on training and orientation. Actually, James, how are we doing with the training and orientation? I think you are the only one left to complete. How's
Yeah,
that?
I'm not entirely sure what the first session that Tom did, uh, or that's the one I missed. I did the second one with him. I'm pretty sure I got Sunshine done. But whatever the first training that I was supposed to do with Tom that got rescheduled, and yeah, it was kind of
Okay.
messy.
All right. Is it all right if I have Nicole email you directly to reschedule, James?
Absolutely, not a problem.
Okay. Then I'll assume that responsibility. I'll contact Nicole and have Nicole contact you
Thank you, Reverend.
regarding that. Oh man, it's my pleasure. I'm just glad to see you. I'm just glad to see you, James. Uh, C, I think I might have mentioned that already under A. Um, I've asked for an update, and I've gotten absolutely no information to date. And I've asked a couple of different times, and again, have received no information to date. I was under the impression that we were going to get an update tonight, but that changed. I don't know why it changed, but it changed. I do know because I've talked to people who have indicated that they have applied and that they have not heard anything based upon their application. I am going to tomorrow send a correspondence to Jared Boyd, the chief of staff for the mayor, and indicate with the board's permission our concern that we're getting no information on applicants or the status of any pending applications. And so if there's no objections, and I want to make sure that it gets to the chief of staff, he has been somewhat helpful in pushing information forward. And so I think that we need to kind of try to get higher up the, I don't want to use the word food, higher up the ladder of protocol or the chain of command. And hopefully, if we put it in writing, I will make sure that I CC all board members so that everybody's kept in the loop. And I'm going to make sure that when they respond, that they CC board members so that everybody knows everything at the same time. Is there any objection to me corresponding with the chief of staff regarding DFOB replacements? Any objection to that?
No, sir.
All right, thank you very much. And D, propose amendments to DFOB policies and procedures. Secretary Commissioner Walker, do you want to address D?
Yeah, just very briefly.
Okay.
We got we passed what the staff recommended. That went to the Director of Public Safety, who has sent us a letter saying he has concerns with, I think, all of those changes. I'm not positive, and whether or not they actually comply with the ordinance. So we can take a couple of approaches to this. We can go through them one by one with the deputy commissioner explaining why they needed the changes again. We can look at what he said. We can decide what, and vote on them one by one and stand with that. I guess we could ask somebody, I'm not sure who, to write a response to his letter. We have questions and concerns. Or we could just accept his letter as written. I'm not sure what to do. I'm I'm disappointed that here we are again talking about procedures instead of actually getting investigations done, but Ruby's going to report on investigations in a bit. We'll see where we are. So I don't know. I just want to hear from the board. What do you think we should do to try to move off this spot we seem to be in with the public safety director having concerns and the staff changes that we adopted?
I did send, obviously, because Commissioner Walker has referenced it, and I'm trying to find the letter that I sent to, please forgive my dogs in the background, I'm sorry. So I did send the letter, and I do know, Commissioner Walker, and I want to begin to do this because I thought it was really good with the Charter Commission. They call everybody Commissioner so-and-so. And I know that all of us are so close that we use everybody's first name. So I don't want to disrespect anybody. So they were calling everybody Commissioner this and Commissioner. I thought that was just so cool. Damn, I thought that was so cool. So I don't want to disrespect anybody. I sent it out, and I'm trying to find it in my sent file. Can I ask if this is acceptable, Secretary Commissioner Walker? I love that, AKA Pam. I want to, at the end of the meeting, and I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, I want to schedule a meeting in 2 weeks to deal with two things. An update on a meeting with the members of the Public Safety Committee around a second ordinance change, which would be number one on the agenda. Number two would be the nomination for vice chair. And three, to lean into, to dive into the response from Director Coyle, and ask the staff to be prepared at that meeting to give an explanation for their recommendations. I want to make sure I give staff an opportunity to respond to the board regarding their recommendations. I think at the time that we received the recommendations from the staff, we understood that the staff would get the last, the staff would make recommendations before the board actually voted on the recommendations, the totality of the recommendations. And during the conversation, and it was a close vote. Actually, I broke the tie on that, on approving the staff recommendations. It was my opinion that the staff have got to be the ones to actually do the work so they would know what restrictions and impediments the recommendations might cause. We did not get into any lengthy detail, and so I take responsibility for that we did not discuss in any detail. I think one reason is because obviously in hindsight, we didn't know that the director would not approve or support some of the staff recommendations. And so, Secretary Walker, could we add that to the 2-week agenda where we're asking staff to provide a rationale so that we as a board could respond to Director Coyle with a level of with a level of comfortableness that we at least received as much information from the staff as possible. What do you think? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, that makes the most sense to me. I do think our next step is to have a discussion with the public safety director about his concerns, but I don't feel prepared to understand why they're so important to the staff and what it means for the actual implementation of their duties and expectations. So that would be very helpful.
Okay. And I will communicate to the director that after the next meeting, we will respond as a board to his correspondence, if that's acceptable.
Yeah, I was trying to look for your response. I did see that you told him you wanted a meeting and he replied and said, yes, he'd asked for a meeting. So I think that's where we are with this, to, have an adult conversation about what the parameters are and what the restrictions might be and what the concerns are, and see if we can't find something that works for everybody.
Okay. Other board members, the suggestion is to place on the agenda about 2 weeks out, to place on that agenda, giving staff time to give rationale for their recommendations so that we can properly respond to Director Coyle, the nomination for vice chair, and an update on public safety committee discussions on the second review of the ordinance. So if there are no objections, I appreciate, and I want to thank you, Secretary Walker. I appreciate you kind of keeping us focused on this, and I appreciate the recommendations you gave. At least you gave us 3 recommendations, so that was good. I think we picked the right one out of the 3. But thank you for the 3. That was good. Listen, that was good. Grandmama say if you need 50, ask for 100. And then you if you get half, then you've got what you wanted. My grandmother was a wise woman. I don't know what else to tell you. All right. Then are there any other discussion around that? Any other discussion? Okay. Seeing no discussion then on that, we'll once again, we'll table that discussion for the next meeting, and that will take us into staff reports. And I will I'll yield to our Deputy Commissioner, Ms. Ruby Barner, to lead us through staff reports. Ruby, are you with us? You're on mute. Ruby is on mute. We have to take her off of mute. Before, okay, Ruby's still on mute. I do have one more. No, I can bring her.
There we
I
go.
know I couldn't get off. I was
Okay.
clicking away, so apparently the host had to take me off mute. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
A bit of happy news. We have a new staff person. We have a new team member. Our secretary, and who I like to call the front office administrator, Miss Amy Haddocks. I just want her to say something to the board so you can see her beautiful face. I see she's showed up.
Hello, it's nice to meet everybody. My name is Amy, and I started with the city about a month ago. And it's nice to be a part of. I've been listening to past board meetings, so I kind of feel like I know everyone. But it's nice to be sitting here on my first live one, I guess you could say. I'm real happy to be at Civilian Oversight. Everybody has been so good to me. Some of the smartest men and women that I've come in contact with in a very long time. So I feel very blessed to be placed where I was placed with the city. And nice to meet everyone.
Thank you,
Welcome, ma'am.
Amy.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. On behalf of all of the board members, Miss Amy, welcome to our nice big
World.
camp. I know. And if you've been listening to our meetings, as you said, you will find that I have not found any more dedicated and committed and competent and passionate public servants, volunteers, board members than I have found on the Detention Facility Oversight Board, and also to our staff. I've continued to say that. I'm very proud of the staff. Again, very competent and capable, and I'm sure that you'll fit right in, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Reverend Gray.
It's my pleasure.
Oh, she has, Reverend Gray, she has come with us with so many skills that she actually hit the ground running. And so she did her first minutes while she was here. We're so happy to have her here. Okay, thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Ruby.
COB meeting announcement. I put that on there just to let you know that we have received a directive from administration to resume COB meetings, and there is one scheduled tentatively for next Monday. So I was trying to say to Reverend Gray when he talked about another meeting on March 25th, that would mean 3 consecutive meetings, but he showed no mercy. And I'm sure since we have an addition to the team, he really will expect us to move forward with those consecutive meetings. But that was all just to let you know that a tentative meeting has been set up with the current board, but they're kind of in a similar situation in that they're waiting to hear about reconfirmation of terms, because they're all serving beyond term as well. So hopefully we can get some of the questions about membership resolved fairly quickly. C is another item that I pulled down from emails for Secretary Walker. I wasn't quite sure what she wanted to follow up on, but I will yield to her if she has specific questions from our last meeting where we gave a fairly detailed narrative on where we are with investigation numbers.
I was just wondering if
Go
it
ahead.
progressed any. You know, the report last month, there were a couple of barriers that you all had run into, and I know Answar expressed concerns about acceptance and treatment, particularly of you by the facility when you tried to do an investigation. And I was just hopeful that we'd been able to move forward on those that you'd tried to investigate and open any new ones. I think I sent the board a summary, and I don't have it in front of me, of all the complaints we got last year. And I think 80% of them were related to healthcare. Maybe one was food, and 2 or 3 were treatment, excessive force. So anyway, I was just hoping we had an update.
Well, I know that in addition to Answar's observation, I don't consider myself having been treated any worse than either he or the attorney that was both there. But as a result of that experience that I did share immediately with the director, I was asked to request a meeting with the Commissioner of Corrections, and I've not heard back. So that meeting has not happened. And that would be the only thing that I can think of from our last report. And I would ask Louisa if she'd like to give the board any follow-up with any information or additional information she's received. And let me say, every time there is a complaint, we immediately share it with the commissioner, as we're required to do by ordinance. And we always ask immediately for an available date to interview the specific detainee in the complaint. So I will ask Louisa if there's anything she would like to share relative to that process.
The process was explained in quite much detail last month, but I will reiterate for those who may have not been present. When a complaint comes in for corrections, we automatically log that information into our electronic system. We send over a copy of the complaint. It's also with a request, like Ms. Bonner had said earlier, sharing that information with the Commissioner of Corrections and her staff, and also giving them a copy of the complaint and asking for a date and a time in which we can interview the detainee to start our investigative process. We have not received a date and time to interview anyone at this particular time. The one complainant that she did respond back to, she let us know that they had an attorney and that we would have to go through the process of contacting the attorney and letting them know what is occurring, which we do with every one of our complaints. We have reached out and let the attorneys know that their complainant their client has filed a complaint with this office. So they have the option of letting us know whether or not they want us to actually speak to their complainant, their client, or not, because anything that's being said can be used in for litigation for their case goes. I would also like to update you and let you know that we have received 2 additional complaints since the last meeting. So now the total of the complaints for 2024 is up to 4 now. So we're moving forward. We're following the process. We're documenting everything that's required of us. We do not wait a long period of time afterwards. We will also go back and request. We don't hear a response, we will request, make the same request again in reference to having an ability to interview the detainee. However, Ms. Walker, I think when you got our last report, you also saw that a lot of the people that we had the names on had already been released from the facility. So one of the problems we're running into is we do not have addresses in which to reach out to the complainant, because when he sends something over to us, it has their has CJC address and no contact telephone numbers. And so that's been that's kind of hampered our ability to get in contact with the complainants, but we're doing everything we can to reach out and use other resources like the Metropolitan Police Department and see whether or not we can get a copy of the arrest record, something of that nature, to help us out with that. Any questions?
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Secretary Walker, did you have any additional questions? Any other board members?
She's on mute.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, that all sounds really good, Louisa. Other than the fact that they won't let you interview detainees, just let us know, keep us informed of barriers and things that you're running into, and we'll see what we can do as a board to help clear the path for you to do your job. The other thing that came up at the last meeting was the question of what can be shared with the board as far as complaints go. And I know, Reverend Gray, you sent an email to the director saying that need to be clarified with the staff. Ruby, did you get any clarification on that?
I have not. I don't know that I was necessarily copied on that particular issue, but I am going to have a regularly scheduled meeting time, and so I will put that on my agenda to discuss with the director as well.
Oh, that's really good. That's awesome that you will meet with him regularly from going forward. I think that will help a
Yeah.
lot.
I think so. I did have Reverend Gray kind of plugged into this segment of DCO report. I noted that the chair had requested an opportunity to meet with the dorm units.
Right.
And there was a response today from the deputy commissioner there. She sent out several dates, and Reverend Gray, I just wanted to make sure you saw that because it kind of got mixed in with our request to interview and
I
things.
saw it, but Deputy Commissioner, I was a bit confused because, as you said, with the mixed communication,
Yes,
I wasn't sure that those dates were the dates that she was giving us for the dorm rep. So is that confirmed? Those dates are the,
it has not been confirmed, but it makes sense in the context of the response. And so
could
that's
you
why I
give us those,
wanted
could you read
to
those dates
make
out to the
sure
board
you
members?
check with your schedule
Yeah.
for
Could you read-
availability.
Yeah, could you read those dates out for the board? Because obviously, when we
Okay.
asked for that meeting, it wasn't just me, it was with me and other board members. So I wanted the board members also to have the dates. so that
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I knew that you had made a request, but I didn't know how it was. And now
Oh, yeah,
can
I
find it?
I
Let
don't do
me-
any more, no secret meetings.
I did notice though that she indicated an appropriate space for you and perhaps me, which would be Louisa,
Okay.
and some of their counsel. So that was the first I had heard that detainee, I don't know what counsel there would be, but that was thrown in there too. So then I would assume if you're going to respond, and I'll be happy to do that for you if you need me to, we might want to indicate available dates as well as, and I'm still looking for that.
I had it here.
Okay, I have it.
Okay.
She said, I have received confirmation from some of the councils that the following date and times this next week, let me know if you are available on Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Okay.
and Wednesday, March 13th from 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m., 10 a.m., and 10:30 a.m.
So
You're on mute. Reverend Gray, you're on mute.
all right. So if it's this Wednesday, which is March 13th, then they're suggesting either at 9, 9:30, 10, or 10:30. So anywhere between 9 to 10:30 basically is what they're saying.
Or another way is that you have a half hour. That's another way to read that.
Yeah, I didn't want to read it that way. The other Wednesday though that you mentioned, is that a week from this Wednesday?
She's saying, oh, they were both on Wednesdays, weren't they?
Right. And
March
the other one was from
13th?
9 to 11. The first
March
Wednesday,
13th would be this Wednesday.
right.
So she's not clear on what other Wednesday there is, unless it's the very next Wednesday, which would be the 20th.
Right.
But yeah, I can see I need some further clarification, but while I've got you and the board members who might want to attend that.
Can I say this when you say further clarification? I think that the problem, and I'm going to say this, We were very clear about what we asked for, Deputy Commissioner. For them to send something back so convoluted, is just once again, is one of the reasons that our board and the public has been so frustrated, because it's a simple request. All we're asking for is a date. And so if you would be so kind, I'm going to ask board members who can attend, if you would be so kind, Deputy Commissioner, to respond to them and let them know Wednesday, March the 20th, from 9 to 11. Now, we'll say 9 to 11. We don't expect to be there 2 hours. But when we asked for the meeting, when we initially asked for the meeting, which was about 6 weeks ago, we got, or maybe 8 weeks ago, the response from the Commissioner of Correction when I asked, based upon the board's recommendations, that we meet with the wing representatives, which is something we've been discussing ever since we've existed. The response that I got from the Commissioner for Corrections was why? Just why? Why do you want to meet with them? And my response, Deputy Commissioner and board members, was so that we can introduce ourselves as a board, a detention facility oversight board, and to explain and express to the wing representatives what our role as board members are, what our role is, and the procedures for complaints, just the introduction. And so I wrote back and I said to the commissioner, the ordinance does not stipulate that I have to tell you why I want to meet with the wing reps, but out of professional courtesy, these are the reasons why. I did not hear back until this recently, this correspondence that came from the commissioner's office giving us these dates, and including in that the need for the representatives for the council, legal counsel for wing representatives, which I don't understand as well. Deputy Commissioner, I understand why you don't understand it. I don't understand it because we're not speaking to the wing representatives as individuals. We're speaking to them as representatives of their wings, which I don't understand. But I'm not, if wing representatives are asking that their counsel be present, I have no objection. So if you could please, I know that was long, if you could please respond on our behalf, let them know March the 20th from 9 to 11, and I will ask any other board member that can make it to please just notify Secretary Walker if you can make next Wednesday, the 20th, 9 to 11. We're going to stipulate 9. Please indicate we need at least an hour. We're not going to be, 30 minutes. We need at least an hour. So anywhere between 9 and 11, and we're requesting an hour, at least an hour.
Okay.
Is that okay? Board members, does anybody to the commission, to the deputy commissioner, that would be the recommendation from the chair. Any board members, any thoughts on that? And if board members can go, please reach out to Secretary Walker and let her know if you're available March 20th between 9 and 11.
Okay, and so to just respond immediately, Mr. Chair, we're just going to indicate for sure you will be there,
Yes.
as well as Louisa Lyles and whichever investigator she might want to have join her.
Right. And we will let them know that before the 20th.
Before March 20th.
We'll inform
What
them.
additional, okay. I can do that. Did you wish to have that go under your signature as a
If you don't-
letter or?
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
Okay, will do. All right, and I'm not sure how we got the other this final item, that might have been Secretary Walker's as well. But I usually try to pull the items for my initial draft from communications with board members and
Right.
and Reverend Gray so that he has a framework to work from for final approval of the agenda. But I
Secretary
can't-
Walker, have we covered D in our discussion, or is there something more specific you'd like to bring to our
Yeah,
attention?
I don't know what that is either, unless it was the whole issue about when they get complaints, can they share them with us?
Okay, all right. Thank you so
And
much.
Barbara can speak to this as well, but I really don't see anything that would prohibit the board from receiving them, especially if we redact any personal identifiable information. And the other thing too is board members are always free to come to the office if they wish to review some of the complaints.
Yeah, I just think it would help us to respond with some knowledge. I mean, I think the public might be out there thinking that we've gotten 100 complaints this year when what we've gotten is 4.
Right,
And if the public doesn't think that's enough, then they can engage, and instead of anonymously having conversations among themselves and advocates, they could actually file complaints.
right.
But they need to know that we've gotten 4, whatever that means to them. So just, a way to keep us informed that lets us use facts when we get asked questions instead of speculation. It's helpful.
And
That's true.
Can I also interject that?
But a backlog of some 30 of them
Yeah,
that we don't intend to
Right.
not pursue
Yeah.
when we're allowed to pursue them.
In 2023, we received 35.
Right.
Okay, that concludes staff reports, Reverend Gray.
Okay. Thank you so much. We are now in a period of public comment. And when we shouldn't be much longer after that. Public comment, do we have anyone who wishes to bring any concerns and or statements before the board? Asking once.
I
Ask-
see someone's hand up, Chairman. That's someone named Mary.
Miss Mary Lou Webb. Could we recognize Miss Mary Lou Webb, please? Whoever's controlling the. There we go.
Antoine,
You can't unmute her. She has to unmute herself. We had the same problem with her at the last board meeting.
Oh, right.
oh, you cannot unmute her?
No, all I can do is send a link to ask her to unmute. I cannot unmute her myself.
Oh, yeah, we did have that same problem. You're right.
Oh, okay.
Can she hear, Miss Webb, if you can hear us? We need you to unmute.
She's got a thumbs up.
Reverend Gray, you're now muted. You're now muted.
Am I unmuted?
There she is.
Yes, you are. It.
Okay, last time it took me a really hard time finding it. I wanted to tell you you're about to get 5, so because you had 4 out of 5. I've been writing it all day. You're not allowed in there still. You're not allowed to talk to the people. Is my understanding correct?
Who are you directing your question to, Ms. Webb?
Was that to the staff, Miss Webb?
can
Are
you
you
hear me?
asking the staff that question?
Yes, I'm asking you, any of you, you haven't been able to talk to anybody, correct? Any of the inmates?
That's correct, Ms. Webb.
Yeah,
I take that back.
with
They had
one
an opportunity.
exception.
They
With
had
one
exception.
exception.
Yeah, with one exception in January, they had an opportunity to speak with someone. but we have not, and I take that back, and one last year, but that's only 2 out of the 39 total complaints we received so far.
What about the people that family members are filling out the forms for them? Are you able to talk to them if they have moved, if the inmates have moved?
In certain situations, what happens is the family members fill out the complaint forms and they'll put down the address to the Justice Center as opposed to an address that we can send something to. That's something we're looking into as well. So if there's anybody listening that has filed a complaint in the past, and if they can reach out to us and give us an updated address, that would be extremely beneficial.
Okay, okay. I just didn't want them to be forgotten, or lost in the move.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know. I know you guys are frustrated and we are too, and it's really hard dealing with all of this. I hope you guys can get in there and get something done through no fault of your own. I know you guys are fighting.
Thank you.
Appreciate.
We appreciate you, and we appreciate your support and your perseverance. We're hoping, Ms. Webb, that the meeting next Wednesday with the wing representatives, at least from the board's point of view, the staff are responsible for the investigations, and that's their job. Our responsibility as a board is different. And so what we want to do is just simply make sure when we go in that these wing representatives who have been selected by their peers know that there is oversight. And so with the board doing its job and the staff, being allowed to do its job, we believe that we can move forward. But we know that you've been following us, you've been monitoring us, you've been supporting us, and please know that your support and your patience and your perseverance has not gone unnoticed. Please know that.
The director, I don't think agrees with you.
That's all right. Listen, the director has. I'm not the director. This board does not represent the director of public safety. We do not represent that at all. We represent the citizens of this city, and that's why we were appointed to do what is in the best interest of the citizens of this city, specifically those who are incarcerated. And so we're going to do our job to the best of our ability. But thank you very much for your comments, Ms. Webb.
I have another question. Do we know that you guys are going to be able to see the complaints at this point?
Staff want to answer that question?
I believe Secretary Walker has asked for confirmation of that fact from at least my appointing authority. And so that's what I intend to do and report back to the board on that final confirmation.
But I think that would be very helpful too, correct?
Yes,
Oh, exactly. Yes.
And to just clarify a little bit, once my training was complete, Director Coyle said I did have
Right.
authority to look at the complaints. I did go over and sit down with the staff for the 34 complaints we got last year. Looked at a few of them. I didn't look at them in that detail because it's really not our role to investigate them. But just to see that they were there, and then the staff has since then in our annual report put together a very good summary of all the complaints that they've gotten and the status of where they were with those. So from that standpoint, we do have access. I did do some analysis of it. 80 last year's complaints were related to health or mental health. There were a few complaints about use of mace, or something like that, undue force. One maybe on food, but the preponderance was about health and mental health. And when we have some new business, I'm going to bring up a new topic about that.
I
All
don't
right.
know that
Miss
money.
Miss Webb, Miss Webb.
Yes,
we-
yes.
Usually we give 3 minutes, but for you, we
Oh, I'm
probably,
sorry.
no, it's okay. It's perfectly, for you, we double
You know
that
me,
because we
Reverend,
know
you
you've
know
been
me.
following, but we do need to move forward with the agenda.
Okay. All right.
But thank
Thank
you,
you. I appreciate
thank you so
that.
much. All
Right, thank you.
Okay. Under new business, I'm, in a moment, I'm going to recognize Secretary Walker. I did want to call the board's attention to, the Charter Commission, which is taking place. There is a public meeting scheduled for the 28th, of this month. And we have been asked, by the CAPCAR, the Coalition Against Police Crimes and Repression, to support their statement and their presentation to the Charter Commission. And it is, the subject matter is need for independent counsel for city oversight bodies. And I will forward, to you, the document that was sent, from John Chasnoff. I thought I sent it, but I'm not sure, and because I'm not sure, I will send it again. But I just wanted to read just two real quick parts, the beginning and the end. It says this is coming from CAPCAR. One of the crucial functions of city government is to guarantee that its various functions are carried out in such a manner as to comply fully with all laws and to act with the highest ethical standards. To guarantee such compliance, the city must create certain oversight bodies as watchdogs. For instance, the city has recently created the Division of Civilian Oversight and tasked it with the oversight of the city jails and the police. Within the DCO, there exist two citizen boards, Detention Facility Oversight Board, DFOB, and Civilian Oversight Board, COB. The current St. Louis City Charter has to date greatly inhibited the functioning of these oversight entities. Current charter language arguably gives authority over them to the city councilor. Their lack of legal independence leaves them powerless in many instances to fulfill the duties and assignments assigned to them by statute. And it cited, the city charter, Article 10, Section 2, which gives authority to the city councilor. And then at the end, he states, and this is, a page and a half, oversight cannot function without a greater degree of independence from the institutions that it is overseeing. We therefore request that you recommend this addition to the charter to follow directly after the language in Article 10, Section 2. And this is what they are recommending being added to the charter. Any division of city government and any boards or commissions that are tasked with the functioning of providing independent oversight shall be exempt from the provisions of this section. Members of such divisions of city government, boards, or commissions shall not be represented by the city councilor in lawsuits, nor shall be advised by the city council unless they formally request that such services from the city councilor. If so requested, the city councilor shall render such service. If no such request is issued, such divisions of city government, boards, or commissions are authorized to hire independent counsel and shall have the authority to enter into contracts securing the services of the independent counsel of their choice. I'm going to send that to board members for your review, so to place it on the agenda for our next meeting, which we're going to schedule prior to the public session of the Charter Commission. So we're going to schedule that meeting, but I at least wanted to put it in the record that we did receive this statement requesting support from the DFOB in this city charter reform recommendation from Coalition Against Police Crimes and Repression. They made their submission to the Charter Commission on January 23rd, 2024. So I will be sending that to the board members for your review, to be discussed, and some disposition made on it at our next meeting. And then finally, I've got a question for Barbara. I am going to be proposing at our next meeting that subpoenas be sent to two potential city officials whose positions I will not name at this time. But I am going to be making recommendation to the board that subpoenas be issued to two city officials. And I want to know from Barbara, do we need to discuss that in our next meeting in closed session? Only because it relates to the subpoena, and I want to be able to speak to our attorney of record right now, who is the city council's office, to find out what the procedure will be, what the procedure is to issue a subpoena. Should we
Yeah, I
do
believe
that?
I believe we would to get advice, because you haven't done that yet. So we can go back through the ordinance. I don't know if there's a form that's already been designated, but we can certainly schedule a time to do that.
Okay, so we'll put that on the agenda for the next meeting, and that will be obviously in closed session. Right, Barbara?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And finally, under new business, as I indicated, I've had two older people who have reached out to me, who are on the Public Safety Committee, and said that they are going to be revisiting the ordinance again, to clean up some things. I say clean up, to make recommendation to amend the charter regarding some issues that we missed in the first review of the ordinance. And so I will be meeting with them after. I'm waiting on them to give me a couple of dates. I will reach out to board members to see who might be available to attend that meeting. For transparency's sake, one of the issues that was brought up is the authority of the public safety director as it relates to recommendations made by this board. We want to get some clarification as to who has the final say on this board. Is it the board or is it the public safety director? So that's one of the things that the older people who are on the public safety committee are going to be reviewing, and that is the authority of the director of public safety as relates to action taken by this board. So those are the three things, board members, that I wanted to add to new business. Is there any question on any of those? And I probably should have asked individually, but is there any question on any of those issues that I brought up? Any question, thoughts, comment? Gosh, we're cooking in hot grease tonight. We may be finishing in a. All right, Secretary Walker, you had some new business you wanted to bring up?
Yes, I will be very quick, I promise. I sent a couple of articles last week that have raised more concerns for me. One was a very lengthy national article about Yes Care and how they changed the name in 2021, and the article was very clear about exposing that they have been siphoning off profits from detainee care. They privatized the nursing staff. They've been sued 1,000 times since then. And then the second thing I shared was previous board members Janice and Mike, wrote the Independence, Missouri Independent, and stated that there have been more deaths and illnesses than have been reported. And what I'd like to see is trend data so that we can get to the facts of that matter, of those matters. And I'd like to see data from corrections from 2019 till today, the coroner's office, the fire department, and the two major hospital systems, SSM and BJC, so that we can try to figure out how many people have actually died, how many people have been transported, how many people have been hospitalized. We don't need their illnesses. I don't even need their names. I want aggregate data so we can see trends as to whether this has gotten worse after 2021, which is probably an assumption that's safe to make, and what it will look like going forward farther now that they've fired Yes Care. And while I'm on this topic, I want to thank the board and I want to thank the media that has issued us, put the spotlight on this, because I think we're the reason that Yes Care got fired. And to my knowledge, sorry about my pup. To my knowledge, no one has died since Yes Care was booted. So I'd really like to see all of that data. But I'm in a position where Reverend Gray is on the subpoenas. I don't know how our wonderful city councilor, Barb Burkett, can twist herself into a pretzel where she can issue a sunshine letter request to herself for the city to give us coroner data and jail data and fire department data. So I'm wondering if this might be the time for us to initiate the process that's currently in the ordinance to ask the city councilor to give us 3 names and let us hire an attorney, because we're going to have to do this by sunshine request. It's clear this data is not going to just be voluntarily shared with us by anybody. And I think we need an attorney to construct the request carefully and legally so that we get a positive response. But I just want to throw it out as new business. If people are willing to go down this path, I would volunteer to draft a letter or an email or something that Reverend Gray could send to the city councilor, initiating a process to hire an independent counsel that we could vote on at our next meeting. So I don't want, there's not really any action. I just kind of want to read from the board. Is this something you think would be worthwhile, and should we pursue it?
Board members, anybody want to chime in on this? I think it's a great idea. Go ahead.
I think it's, yeah, I think it's absolutely worth pursuing. And I can just say from anecdotal, having worked for city corrections from October of 2011 to March of 2021, in-facility deaths were exceedingly rare. This is unprecedented as far as my understanding is. They were very rare and they were an incredibly big deal, and that doesn't necessarily seem to be the case anymore, unfortunately.
Other board members? Thank you, James. Other board members? So, Secretary Walker, if you will go ahead and draft that document on behalf of the board, and Barbara, is this another situation where we need to discuss how we move forward legally? Is this another closed session conversation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if Pam would go ahead and at least draft something requesting the city councilor's assistance in this regard, and then we will have it on the agenda for the next meeting. So those will be the 2 issues that we will discuss in closed session. Okay? Barbara, you're clear about? I know you are.
Yes, yes.
I know you are. I know. I can see it on your.
Can I be copied on that correspondence?
Oh, of course. You,
Oh, okay.
without a doubt. Deputy Commissioner, without a doubt.
I don't always, I'm not always Reverend
I
Gray.
thought you
know
were.
that.
I thought you were. I think I try to copy you on everything, actually.
No, I didn't.
I need somebody to know where stuff is. All
I
right,
didn't get
so
the letter till about, what, 2 hours before the meeting? So
sometimes
I didn't know that was coming.
the wheels of progress grind exceedingly slow. That's what
Oh,
someone,
yeah.
I heard that somewhere. So it's the first time I got a chance to repeat it.
I just want to
Okay,
be sure I get everything on your proposed agenda for your approval.
okay. So Secretary Walker, you'll do that, and then we'll discuss the procedure at our next meeting. And so that takes us, any other business to be discussed under new business? Look at us, look at DFOB. Gosh, darn it. We're gonna be finishing an hour and 15 minutes. Matter of fact, I think I might have to filibust. I'm not used to this. I might just come up with something. Oh, thank you all so much, and all of our board members. We're going to schedule our next meeting, but before that, we do have board members, and I do want the public to know that our board members have been phenomenal. We've been frustrated, but at the same time, this board has been phenomenal, and the perseverance that has been shown by this board. In spite of everything that has transpired, we do realize that we're new. We understand that all this is new. And to this board, I just want to say thank you so much. We have some board members who are on the edge, some board members that we could lose at any minute. And the public needs to understand that. And we need the public support. We need the public to say to this administration, however you choose to do it, that you want the administration to support this board and the efforts of this board. It's not about individuals on this board. It's about the hundreds of individuals who are detained in our detention facility, who we have a moral and a human and an ethical and a constitutional and a legal obligation to care for. So to all the board members, again, thank you. In order to accommodate all of our board members, instead of meeting on the Monday, we're talking about 2 weeks, could we meet on that Tuesday? And I think that Tuesday is that the 26th? That would accommodate all of our board members, and we wouldn't have to be worried about a quorum. Barbara, would you have a problem with the 20? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, the 26th. I almost thought I was looking at it wrong. That must have been, I need my glasses, because I know the 28th is the Charter Commission meeting. So the 26th instead of the 25th. Board members, is there any objection to meeting on the Tuesday, the 26th, rather than Monday, the 25th? We want to try to accommodate as many board members as we can. Barbara, you're good with that?
Yes.
Board members, no objection?
There's a possibility. There's a possibility I'd have a hard out on Tuesdays a little before 6 o'clock.
Okay, but that's fine, because as the chair, my chair's report, I'm going to try, James, for this meeting to focus more on the closed session agenda items. So we'll try to move those up. We'll move those up closer, so that at least you can be part of that discussion. We're not going to have we're not going to put a lot on that agenda. I mean, that meeting, because that meeting is for a specific purpose to deal with those things that we discussed tonight. And we're not going to look at adding anything new to that agenda. All right. So if nobody
I won't be able to
objects-
make it.
Wait a minute. Didn't we change it for you?
No,
What
you didn't
night-
change it for me.
Oh, what night?
Change it for me.
Oh,
No.
well, wait a minute. We're getting one and losing the other. What's up
Yeah.
with that?
Well, Generally speaking, I'm free Tuesday nights, but it just so happens that that week is
Oh.
parent-teacher conference night.
I got you.
And
I got
yeah, so I've got to be someplace
you.
else.
No, of course. Listen, that's where we want you to be. Okay, let me go back to James. But James, you can't, Mondays are hard for you though, right?
They're tricky but manageable.
Okay, then. Because we don't want to lose Tom and we don't want to lose James. Okay, y'all forgive me. I'm older than everybody on this call, so y'all need to forgive me. I'm gonna chalk it up to
I don't
age.
know about that.
I'm gonna chalk it up to age. I'm chalking it up to age. Okay, then to accommodate so that we can, let's go back to the 25th. Let's go back to the 25th. And that way, hopefully we'll have James and Tom.
Yeah, I can make the 25th.
Okay. And then James, are you okay with the 25th? You say it might be manageable. Even if we get you for that first half hour, 45 minutes, James?
Should be doable.
Okay, because like I said, we'll do the closed session early on on the agenda. Okay. Thank you, Ruby. I'm sorry, Ruby. I saw your body language. That's what you got your camera on. I saw your body language. You should have turned your camera off. I saw that body language. All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Been moved by James, seconded by.
Me, I'll second.
Thank you. Seconded by Tom. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary
Aye.
minded, motion carries. Thank you very much, everybody. Great meeting. Wait a minute. What time is it?